Before we get into today's show, let me tell you about HubSpot. If you're hustling in the trenches to build a business or bootstrapping one of your own, let's talk about an AI-powered tool that can lighten up your workload a bit. HubSpot's Campaign Assistant is a game changer for creating marketing campaigns at scale. It quickly turns your key selling points into a cohesive pitch, which helps you deliver knockout emails, ads, and landing pages in minutes. So let Campaign Assistant take care of the campaigns so you can get back to growing your business. Work smarter, not harder at HubSpot.com/campaign-assistant.
Howdy folks, good morning. It is Monday, July 17th. I'm Jacob Cohen, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. On tap for today, there's A-list actors and then there's AI-list actors. Here's what AI has to do with the ongoing actors and writer strikes in Hollywood. Also, Super Bowl ads. Yep, we are going to be talking about Super Bowl ads because even though you won't see them again for another 8 months, they're about the only thing working in the TV biz right now. But before we get to all this, let's talk about what else is happening in the world of business and tech. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. Okay, first things first, man on a mission. Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Oh, that's a doozy. Ran to a strong box office debut. The film's 5-day global haul reached around $235 million. Not too shabby. Moving along, word on the tweet is that Twitter has a negative cash flow, according to Elon Musk, and you do not have to be Janet Yellen to know that that is not an ideal economic scenario. Musk pointed to a heavy debt load and a 50% decline in ad revenue. And in April, by the way, he said Twitter was actually roughly breaking even. So we'll see how this trend continues. Up next, launch product launched. EV startup Canoe has sent 3 new vans to NASA, niftily designed to transport fully suited up astronauts to the launch pad. And next up for Canoe is delivering 4,500 vehicles for another set of American heroes, Walmart delivery drivers. Also, this should be quite a lift. United Airlines struck a deal with its pilots union worth about $10 billion that'll boost pilot pay by up to 40% over 4 years. Delta and American also recently resolved labor disputes. Southwest pilots, meanwhile, may be headed for a strike. Now, let's get to some newsy numbers. One-signed soccer superstar Lionel Messi is just like us. Well, he was spotted in a Florida grocery store, Publix, with his family buying Lucky Charms. One sign that shows Messi ain't like anyone else, well, that would be his new $150 million deal with MLS team Inter Miami that will bring his career on-field earnings to $1.6 billion, according to Sportico. Off the pitch, Messi has revenue-sharing deals in place with MLS partners Apple, Adidas, Fanatics, and endorsement deals with Budweiser, MasterCard, and Pepsi, so he's just netting in some nice numbers. Now, as for the non-Messi-backed beverage titan, Coca-Cola, and some of its top bottling partners, they are ponying up $137.7 million for sustainability investments. The shared fund they're putting together will back tech firms that offer packaging, energy, and distribution solutions that can reduce the company's carbon footprint. Coke is quite a bit behind target on one front in this regard. Its bottles contain 15% recycled material today, well short of its 50% by 2030 goal, and I guess you could call this new move part of their can-do attitude. Up next, peeling and coring an avocado kind of sucks, as everyone knows, but it'll no longer be the pits for Chipotle. Until now, it has taken the chain's kitchen staff around 50 minutes to create a single batch of guacamole. That number is about to go way down thanks to Avocado, a machine that automates the tedious avocado prep process, 25 pounds of the fruit at a time, built by robotic startup Vibu. And that'll be a productivity boon for Chipotle, which uses more than 100 million pounds of avocados each year. And lastly, you cannot win if you do not play. Tonight's Powerball jackpot, around $900 million, is the third largest in history. Will the grand prize winner be you? Statistically speaking, no. And with that, let's get to today's main stories. Want to burn a pile of money on a Super Bowl ad? Well, if you do, you better get on that pronto. CBS, which will broadcast Super Bowl 58 in February 2024, has already sold around 70% of the event's ad inventory, according to Variety, and the average price? That would be $6.5 million for 30 seconds. The going rate is gobsmacking, but slots are still going fast. Dibs have now been called on most of the big games' first half and third quarter. The early rush, by the way, while crazy, is tracking with last year's numbers. Fox, which had 2023's broadcast rights, sold around 95% of its inventory by September of 2022, and that network charged similar $6 to $7 million rates. The result? The Chiefs, Eagles, and halftime performer Rihanna teamed up to attract 113 million viewers, and Fox grossed around $600 million in advertising revenue. Okay, Hustle Squad, but why do advertisers keep flocking to these overpriced ad slots? Well, the answer is they're really not overpriced in one sense. This Super Bowl hoopla says a lot about the current state of the TV business. Network ratings are atrocious. For the first time in any of our lifetimes, no broadcast drama or comedy surpassed 10 million viewers across Nielsen's latest U.S. rating season, according to The Hollywood Reporter. The only two weekly programs averaging more than 10 million viewers last season were NFL telecasts. The truth is, live sports is TV's last stand for bringing eyeballs together en masse and forcing them to simultaneously sit through ads, which is why companies are dropping wild sums on this stuff. Google, Alphabet, for instance, spending $14 billion just to bring the NFL to YouTube TV. Another factor making sports an advertising haven? That's just that they're a reliable bet that has nothing to do with Hollywood's other nightmare, the striking writers and actors unions. The longer those strikes continue, the more enticing that remaining sliver of Super Bowl ads will look. Which brings us to our other main story, why the Hollywood strikes have a lot, actually, to do with AI. Now, the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television, and the Radio Arts, as well as the Writers Guild of America, are officially on strike together for the first time in 63 years. Now, many of their concerns are over things like improved benefits, wages, and working conditions, but another one is distinctly modern: how studios will use AI. You know how people say things like, damn, that's literally straight out of a Black Mirror episode? Well, this is straight out of a Black Mirror episode, which we'll explain in a second. Some media publications have already started replacing some writers with AI, so it's not surprising a writers guild would want guardrails in place to protect against this. Stranger still, the chief negotiator of the Actors Guild claimed the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Productions and the studio executives it represents want to use AI to create scans of background performers. The performers would get paid for a day of work, but studios would be able to use scans whenever they want. This exact thing happened to Salma Hayek in Joan is Awful, an episode of Black Mirror that recently debuted on Netflix. The difference is your everyday background actor does not have Salma Hayek money, so you can understand why they are a little cautious about this development. Now, background actors who play typically non-speaking roles to fill scenes, things like customers at a coffee shop, students at a school, make an average of less than $39,000 per year. The studio execs have denied these claims, but according to The Verge, some allege actor scans are already happening. Now, how does the strike affect everyone else? So, with much TV and film production shut down, people who work in other parts of the entertainment industry are also out of work. Even Los Angeles area restaurants that provide catering or play host industry meetings and events are feeling it, with some reporting up to 40% dips in revenue, according to the Los Angeles Times. And for the rest of us, like you and me, we may just have to wait longer for our favorite shows or movies. Already delayed are Andor, Severance, Captain America, Brave New World, and Stranger Things, my personal favorite, among others. So let's just all hope and pray and do what we can to make sure this all gets solved soon. All right, bada bing, bada boom. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in to the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Ezra Trupiano. Our executive producer is Darren Clarke. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. And if you are not subscribed, you really should go do that at thehustle.co/email. Hope you have an awesome Monday. Great start to the week. We'll catch you right here tomorrow.
Let me tell you about a show that I've been loving lately. It's called Entrepreneurs on Fire. It's hosted by the incredible John Lee Dumas. It's available now on the HubSpot podcast network. Entrepreneurs on Fire stokes inspiration and shares strategies to fire up your entrepreneurial journey and create the life that you've always dreamed of. I'm a big fan of this podcast. It has energy, it has value, and it's all about learning about entrepreneurship. I was just listening to an episode the other day. JLD interviewed Jay Rogers, who was such a wealth of information. He kind of went into how entrepreneurship chooses you. You don't necessarily choose it, and that failure only happens when you stop trying to win. A lot of gems in this one, so I'd highly recommend checking out that particular episode along with the rest. So go listen to Entrepreneurs on Fire wherever you get your podcasts. Hey guys, if you listen to the Hustle Daily Show on Google Podcasts, we want to let you know that the option will no longer be available pretty soon. Google is sunsetting its podcast app sometime in early 2024 in favor of YouTube Music, and we want to give you a heads up before it's too late since that time's almost here. The Hustle Daily Show is available everywhere and anywhere that you listen to podcasts like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're using YouTube Music, we are there as well. If you're an Android fan, there are plenty of apps like Overcast, Pocket Casts, Player FM, and more. So just search for us wherever you decide to listen to your favorite podcasts.